This isn't just a video. It's a warning. But will anyone listen? Then, out of nowhere, a shift. Caught on camera, but hidden in plain sight.
This isn't just a video. It's a warning. But will anyone listen?
You know, AI is starting to show up in some of the most human places imaginable. And right at the top of that list, high-stakes negotiation. Now, it promises to make everything incredibly efficient, but it also carries some pretty serious risks that could blow a deal apart. So is AI going to be our new ultimate co-pilot, or is it a storm we should all be bracing for? Let's get into it.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. The next time you're hammering out a contract, trying to get a better salary, or even just haggling over a price, the entity on the other side of the table might not be a person. It could be an algorithm, a really sophisticated one, designed for one thing and one thing only, to get the absolute best deal for its owner.
And look, this is not science fiction. It's happening as we speak on both sides of the law. You've got giants like Walmart using AI to automate deals with their suppliers, saving millions of dollars. And at the exact same time, you have criminal hackers using AI chatbots to squeeze ransomware payments out of people. It is the perfect example of a double-edged sword.
So what we're seeing is this massive shift from deals being led by people to deals being driven by machines. AI isn't just a research tool you use to prep anymore. No, it's becoming an active participant, a new player, right there at the bargaining table.
The core technology behind all this is called a Negotiation Automation Platform, or NAP. And this is way more than just a fancy spreadsheet. A NAP uses AI to actually create offers, to judge the counteroffers it gets back, and to push the deal toward an agreement. But here's the brilliant part. It can do all of that while keeping each side's most sensitive data, we're talking profit margins, inventory levels, totally private.
Before a negotiation even starts, the AI does its homework on a scale that's just inhuman. It can tear through thousands of emails, old contracts, public statements, anything it can find, to build this incredibly detailed profile of you. It learns your habits, what your pain points probably are, and even what kind of language gets you to say yes. It's a personalized pitch, but executed with machine precision.
And when all this technology is working like it's supposed to, the results are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing. This is the big promise of AI in negotiation, unlocking efficiency and insights we just couldn't get to before.
Let's look at some hard numbers, because they really tell the story. The company eMoldino started using AI to handle its supplier negotiations. The result? They cut their costs by 40%. 40%. That's not just trimming the fat. That's a complete game changer for their bottom line.
And it's not just about money. It's also about speed. Think about how long it takes to review a dense legal contract. Well, AI tools are now accelerating that process by 60%. Imagine getting through all that paperwork in less than half the time. It just goes to show what happens when you offload those complex, data-heavy tasks to a machine.
Now here's a stat that might actually surprise you. You'd think negotiating with a bot would be a cold, frustrating experience, right? But in one of Walmart's pilot programs, 90% of the suppliers said they had a great experience. They literally called it the easiest negotiation they've ever had. It suggests AI might actually make the whole process less confrontational.
This diagram really shows you what that looks like. On the top, you see the old way. It's just chaos. A human coordinator is buried in problems. Delivery delays, price hikes, you name it. But then, look at the bottom. A coordinator AI steps in, and suddenly everything is streamlined into this clean, efficient process. It's the perfect visual for the promise of this tech.
But it's not a perfect picture. Not at all. For all of its amazing power, AI has some really big flaws. And funny enough, these flaws often look surprisingly human. When the logic breaks or the code gets corrupted by bad data, things can go south fast.
This quote from Maria del Pilar Galeote Munoz really just hits the nail on the head. See, real negotiation isn't just about processing data. It's about building rapport. It's about persuasion. It's about judgment. It's a deeply human art. An algorithm can follow a script, sure,
but it can't understand the nuance that actually closes a deal.
And these risks are very real. In 2023, a ChatGPT bug exposed sensitive user conversations. In 2024, a car dealership chatbot, which had zero commercial sense, actually agreed to sell a brand new car for $1. $1! And by 2025, courts were dealing with over 100 cases where lawyers used fake legal citations that an AI just made up. These aren't hypotheticals. These are real failures with serious consequences.
One of the biggest vulnerabilities is that AI learns from us, and that includes our biases. If you train it on historical data that reflects old prejudices, the AI will not only repeat them, it can make them even worse. Like we see here, studies have shown AI agents offering women lower salaries than men simply because it was mimicking the biased data it was trained on.
And beyond the data, there's a fundamental communication problem. AI is literal. It's black and white. It doesn't get sarcasm. It doesn't get innuendo. It doesn't pick up on that subtle shift in tone that tells you everything you need to know. But that subtext, that's often where human-to-human deals are actually made.
And those human skills, they're not just a nice to have. They are absolutely critical. In fact, data shows that 78% of clients say their lawyer's emotional intelligence, their empathy, their ability to connect, is just as important as their legal knowledge. And that's something no algorithm can ever replicate.
Okay, so you have this incredible promise on one side and these huge risks on the other. So what's the path forward? Well, the future probably isn't a battle of human versus machine. It's a new model for collaboration, one that is led by humans but supercharged by AI.
This model is often called human-in-the-loop collaboration. Think of it this way. The human is always the pilot. We set the strategy, we provide the real-world context and the ethical guardrails, and we always make the final call. The AI acts as our co-pilot, an unbelievably powerful one that handles all the heavy lifting on data and automation, but it never, ever takes the controls.
Researchers have even mapped out what this kind of real teamwork looks like. It starts simple, with basic coordination. Then it moves up to cooperation, where you might use negotiation to get on the same page. But the top level is true collaboration, where humans and AI actually share authority to solve complex problems together in real time.
And this is the real endgame here. The goal is not to build an AI that perfectly acts like a human negotiator. The goal is to build something completely new, a hybrid enhanced intelligence. It's a fusion, right? You take human strategy and empathy, and you combine it with AI's incredible speed and analytical power. The team you create is way more powerful than either a human or an AI could ever be alone.
And this principle is non-negotiable. The research is crystal clear on this. The human operator must retain ultimate decision-making authority. That's the safety switch. It's what ensures human judgment is the final word, and it prevents the kind of logical disasters and ethical screw-ups we talked about earlier.
So, at the end of the day, AI is probably not going to take your seat at the negotiating table, but it is, without a doubt, going to take the one right next to you. The real question is no longer if we're going to work with these powerful new co-pilots, the question is how. So, are you ready?